everybody, welcome back to Birds of a Scute. Or I guess, well, for me this is kind of like the birth, because I know I've posted memes on the channel, and there was at one point an ARC playthrough, which will never come back because I only filmed 3 episodes and they were awful, so I've deleted it already, probably. So welcome to this first episode. If you don't want to hear me talk over this one, I have another version up on the channel with no narrating, and it's just music. So if you just want to chill and watch me draw, I got you covered. So for this video, I'm gonna have it divided up into, I guess first I'll go over what the drawing is, my inspiration. I'll go over what the dinosaur I'm drawing is, and then I'll kind of take you guys through my process once we get to the digital part. So this isn't really a commission, it was more a suggestion. I asked them, well, what should I draw? And they said tomatoes and a cactus. And so I was like, okay, cool, well, I'm not gonna not draw a dinosaur. So the way I categorize the way I name all my friends in my Snapchat is with binomial nomenclature, so that I can learn dinosaur names. So the person who suggested this was Halszkaraptor Esquilier. I think I just went over this and I already forgot how to say it. So yeah, what I decided to draw was a sprouting tomato plant coming out of a Halszkaraptor skull, because I thought the visual was interesting. The plant, so the cactus that I chose was a Orostachys spinosa, or a spiny penwort, which is a succulent, and it looks like this. Here's a picture on screen. And I chose it because it's native to Mongolia. Well, why would I do that? Well, let's talk about that right now. So, Halszkaraptor, very weird pronunciation, well, spelling, so I hope I'm spelling it right, it was described in 2017, which is pretty recent at the time this video was dropped. I even remember reading when it first came out, and like, what the hell? It very closely resembles waterfowl. It has a very, I think it kind of looks like a big duck, maybe a miniature swan. But it was found in Mongolia, which is why I chose the sand patterning at the bottom that you'll see, and why I chose a cactus native to Mongolia, because it was suggested I draw tomato plants and cactus, and I went, well, cool, if we're going to put it in Mongolia, let's choose a native Mongolian cactus, which I don't think I've done justice to. This is not, I don't draw plants, so you'll see it's a little wampus, it's a little all over the place, but I think it has charm. And it's very messy appearance. So, Halszkaraptor wasn't that big. It was very, very small boy. We do have, it's pretty well preserved. The type specimen is I think almost complete. Just looking at pictures of it, looks pretty damn complete to me. So it basically would have lived in it would have been semi-aquatic. It would have lived kind of like, I guess not like Spinosaurids, because it was, a 1/12 the size, 1,000th the size probably is closer, but it would have lived in water. It would have lived like modern waterfowl today, ducks, geese, etc. Except this was a dinosaur boy. And it's one of the handful of dinosaurs we have that is, I say we, like I'm a practiced paleontologist. The paleontologists have discovered that was semi-aquatic. So that's big. That's pretty neat. So yeah, that's why I chose it. That's where the setting is. That's what the cactus is. So that's a little bit on the backstory of Halszkaraptor. So as you'll be seeing on screen, I just opened. I really need to stop saying. I put the picture. I just took a picture with my phone. I just threw it up into Sketchpad. I really hope it's called Sketchpad. I'm gonna feel bad if it's not. Sketchbook. Okay, cool. So I was wrong. Sketchbook. Just imported the picture. Just started drawing over it with a pencil. Make sure if you're doing this, if you're following this for whatever reason, I really hope this isn't your first speed paint. because I am not the person to learn from. If you're doing this at home, always remember to check your layers, because when I started, I say started like I'm any good at this. When I first got this and I was using it, I always forgot to change my layers, and everything sucked. Always remember layers. I'm really bad at remembering layers, so don't worry about it. Basically, what I did for this is I was using a bunch of reference pictures. Obviously, like, that's pretty standard drawing stuff. I'm not really bringing anything new to the table. What I usually do, I don't ever trace anything. I don't think I've ever traced anything in my life, because I don't like doing that. So 4th of July weekend, we have to explode stuff. So for the shading and stuff on this, I just filled it all in the same color, and then I just took a black marker and then made it I dropped the opacity so it was very see-through, and then I just went over where it needed to be shaded, and then if I didn't like how dark it was, I just went over a couple more times. The grass in this picture is not my favorite. I looked at so many different ways to draw grass for this. You can see on the drawing, on the actual pencil drawing, it looks nothing like what I did digitally. Right now I'm about to go through a bunch of tools, see if I like any of what this grass looks like, and none of it looks good, so I just keep drawing my wedge blades. The easiest way I saw was to just keep making lighter shades until you fill out the area to kind of show depth. Like, the further back grass is a lot darker than the foreground grass. When I get to the inside, I just drop the shading down a little bit, so that it looked like it was shaded and underneath the skull, which it would have worked had I not used a very light shade. I started using lighter shades for some reason, which I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. So on the finished product, it looks a little weird, but I still think it's good. For the sand, I just kind of looked at pictures of sand, and then picked a color that looks good, but when I showed it to someone, they thought it was cheese. And I don't blame them. It doesn't look that great. Well, I thought it looked good until they mentioned that it looked like cheese, and then I felt kind of dumb. But, can't win everyone. For the tomato plants, I looked at so many reference pictures of tomatoes. Never thought I would ever look at so many pictures of tomatoes in my life. The leaves are very weird looking. It's like a spade on the end, or it's more like it's like a diamond on the end, and then it tapers out and makes however many leaves behind it. These are not good tomato plant reconstructions. I think they're passable. I think a botanist could maybe look at this and go, yeah, okay, that's a tomato. Probably. So, I made 3 different sprouts. There's the big one in the middle, the one on the right that curls around the skull, just to add a little movement, add a little time to it. I don't know if tomato plants are native to Mongolia. I don't know if you would ever see this scene. I mean, you couldn't, because any fossil that's exposed is pretty much dead within a week. When I started drawing the tomatoes, I was trying to show that they were young, like they were not saplings. I don't think that's the correct term. I just wanted them to look young, so I chose all of the colors of young tomatoes, like green and orange, yellow, not red. And then I was like, yeah, okay, that looks good. And I moved on to the cactus, which once I started putting it into digital, I realized was very not right. But I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. I think it was just because I didn't put as much time as needed to be in order to make it look good. But once I started adding colors, like I added the purple and stuff, I kind of warmed up to it. I just thought it was kind of cute and how womply it is. Womply is not a word, but the English language is a meme, so I'm gonna own up to it. Yeah, once I started adding the variety and color, I think it adds. It's not the best part of the piece by far, but you know, I like it. I think it's cute. Here I was trying to add little blades of grass growing in the sand, and it just didn't work. So I just added another baby cactus because I thought it was cute. A little pennyworth. I think the purples definitely work good with picture. Once I was gonna be done here, and then I realized the tomatoes looked stupid, so I went back and I tried coloring them red, and then they just looked like strawberries, so I had to round them out, and then I just got rid of the green because it just looked weird. So now it looks like tomato plants, even though that's not what a young tomato plant would look like. At least I think so, because you know, it's not like I raised tomatoes for this project. I just looked up what Google had for me. Then I went through and I shaded the plants, the lower halves that were inside the skull, just to add lighting. But I'm really, really bad at lighting, so it kind of just made it look like the stalks were a little. I mean, on those ones it looks fine, but on the big middle one, it did not translate as well as I wish it would have. But you know, you live, you learn. This is gonna be the rest of my life if I decide to keep drawing and making speed paint. So one day I'll figure it out. Here's me going in shading everything, just with, again, a black marker that I've just turned the opacity down on. And then I didn't like how it was just kind of there. So for the final base piece, I just thought, ooh, what if I do like a sci-fi, like a metal cylinder, just holding it, like it's an exhibit or something. Like a board, I don't know, spaceship, future thing. Doesn't have to have reason, it's art, it's a drawing, it's a dinosaur skull, who cares? So, I just went through the only way I know how to draw metals. A lot of the Green Boy stuff I do, I make the visor metal, and it looks cool, so I tried doing that same thing and it didn't work. What you just saw was me trying to add sand grains, which didn't work. Looked kind of dumb, so I just deleted it. Which I kind of wish I hadn't, because it would look less like cheese if I had to add grains in. But yeah, so here's I changed the background, thought the light blue was neat, and here's the final product. So if you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe. I'll have more of these up, hopefully more paleontology stuff, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me on Birds of a Scute, everybody. Have a good night.